Hey everyone, how's it going? Puntastic77 here, coming with some Team Fortress 2. I hope you're doing well. First of all, let me just get this out of the way here. I'm sorry there was no video last week. To be honest, it's been quite a busy time in my life. Thus, the video before last week, the video was called Being Busy, and it was so funny. It was talking about being busy and dealing with it. And that's basically where I'm at now. These next 2-3 weeks are going to be the busiest. I think up until Christmas time or New Year's, I will be really, really busy, and maybe even into January. It's just a combination of work, some external projects, the YouTube thing, which is more of a hobby than like an added task. So I see it as more of a relaxation, and if I get time off, that's when I work on the YouTube thing. So I'm not going to add it to the equation, but that is factored into, your viewing experience, because you're like, hey, where were the videos last week? There was only a Simpsons video. But enough about that. That doesn't really matter here. How are you doing? Let's talk about it. I'm playing here as the demo man with the grenade launcher, the sticky launcher, and the frying pan here. So just some good old default stock demo. I've been playing a lot of the Double Dunk Demo Man, and I just wanted to bring it back to the original, to the classic. I was going to do some lock and load gameplay, and, was doing a few videos with it and some recordings with it, but it's just, the nerf is so bad on it, and it just makes it so inefficient. I remember when I was using it exclusively, at a point in time, it would just kill anything. Even though it only had 2 bullets, I loved it, and it made it more focused on, you gotta land your shots rather than just spamming in the area, which this is what a lot of this gameplay is me spamming a certain corridor or an area here. And sometimes I get a direct hit, which is really nice, but most of the time it's just to show off that the demo man is used for, 1, setting up traps, and 2, just doing some pop shot damage. I don't think you're supposed to be the killer here, get the exact last kill with the demo man. Basically, it's to pop people down to make them have to go get more health, or go to a health pack, or go to their medic and make them back up here. And I chose this gameplay to feature this week because it shows us being pushed against our backs, and then us making a pushback here, and just forcing people back into the hallway, and sometimes even getting in their spawn, which is really nice. And you hear like the people talking. I'm trying to mute the audio as much as possible. Usually I mute people, or I have been lately, but you hear them talking in the background here. And strangely enough, I used a different recording software here, so I'm going to see if it can do 60 frames per second. Because usually my frames go really, really down. I mean, usually if you watch my videos, you can see the FPS counter in the bottom right hand corner here, and you see it always at like 29, 30 something. But with this, I was getting really good FPS. So I don't know if the quality is going to be affected with that. It looks like the quality might be untouched, or it could be a little bit less, but let me know what you think. If you like higher quality but less FPS, or if you like more frames per second and a little bit less quality. My rig is a few years old, my computer build, and it was not meant for video editing. It was just meant to be an overall good desktop, which is why I purchased it. So it's kind of a Frankenstein computer here, not in the sense that I put it together piece by piece like a custom build. It was just not meant to do video editing, and with some minor modifications, basically none, I was able to do this and do some streaming. So yeah, look for that. Anyways, I wanted to talk about the topic for today, and the reason why I didn't lead straight away into it is because it's a little bit of a longer video here. I felt bad not bringing a video to you all last week, so I want to give you all a little bit of an extended game here, and you kind of see it in its entirety. I usually cut the deaths or like the slow parts here, but there's some parts that I want to explain why I'm doing what I'm doing here. But that's not what we're going to talk about, and I'll stop talking about the topic that I'm talking about just to kind of bring some attention here, because I am looking at the gameplay too, and sometimes I do say to myself, damn, that was a good play, man. That was a good play. So one of the reasons why I chose this gameplay was, 1, there was no crits featured primarily throughout it. Obviously, I was getting healed by just some people who were pocketing other people, and they were gracious enough to give it to me. And yeah, I used the crits very sparingly here, but it still shows that you can do very well without a crit streak, even though I think the crit streak makes gameplay a lot more fun, and I just enjoy it. And second of all, I noticed that my development with the Demo Man has changed, and I really, really was impressed rewatching this footage here of some of the stuff that I did and not even noticing it. You know, I look at previous videos of me playing Demo Man or previous recordings, and I see how my style has very much changed with the Demo Man, and I like it. And it made me think, you know, how has my styles changed with all the other classes? Obviously, you improve the more you play the game. I'm not arguing that. But I feel like you get to a certain point where you feel like, yes, I'm good at this game, you know, I'm comfortable with it, but there is a point where, you know, you change your style up a bit. So you're still at the same skill level, but the style of playing changes, if that makes sense. So yes, at the beginning, you're obviously going to be better than you were, you know, like a few weeks later of playing a game, you're going to be better than you were at the beginning. But I'm talking about now, as someone who's played TF2 for a few years now, and, you know, not really being a pro skill player, playing on some semi-competitive teams at a decent rank, you know, not as the Demo Man, but, you know, as the medic, and seeing how my style has changed throughout the game. So we'll talk about the Demo Man here, and we'll use this gameplay to kind of talk about that. So for one, I used to use the Demo Man primarily as a spam everything class. So what I would mean is spam the grenade launcher, spam the sticky bombs, spam the grenade launcher, spam the sticky bombs, and make it very offensive and very tankish, and just think I was invincible. Basically almost treating it like a heavy, where I could just rush in there, empty my clip, and then just retreat and hopefully survive. Now, when I watch this, though, I still see a lot of those elements of spam, 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 spam. That's what I'm doing in a lot of these corridors here, but there's some things that I notice are different. You know, I'm using 2 or 3 pills and then reloading. I'm not unloading the whole clip here, or I'm giving myself a chance to reload fully before I go out. That's kind of the biggest reason why I decided to talk about this gameplay, is because I reload fully now, when before I would only reload like 1 or 2 shots and then go in, and it would infuriate me when I would watch it again, because I'm like, come on, man. Reload all the way. It's not that hard. But I think the main reason why that happened is because I have auto reload on, which I didn't know was a thing until a few weeks ago or a few months ago. So that really helped. And that's another thing, improving your gameplay or changing your style of gameplay. There are things that you realize that you can do to help you that you didn't know about before. So for one, I think having a different HUD was the biggest improvement that I got. You know, it made looking at the game a lot easier. It made the game a lot smoother for me. Changing the graphics up a bit just to where the FPS would go up, and getting better internet, obviously. But that's, you know, I've always had pretty decent internet. I've always invested heavily in internet. Anyways, the second thing being watching myself, I think, has helped me a lot, because, you know, you really kind of learn from your mistakes, and that's definitely something that is shown in this gameplay here. And some of these kids, and I call them kids because they sounded very young and they didn't know what they were doing here. So for example, in the top right corner over here, there's that guy spamming there, and I was like, oh wow, you guys should clear that out, people with rocket launchers. I'll try and spam it as much as I can. So they're like, yeah, we got it, Puntastic, don't worry, we got it, and, you know, I'm like, okay, I guess they got it. Second time, you know, spoiler alert here, there's someone still there, there's still a teleporter there. I'm trying to spam it as much as I can with the pills, but it's not working, and I'm getting really frustrated with it. And I'm just like, come on, really? I'm telling you where they're coming from. You just got to go up there. All you got to do is rocket jump, and I'm telling them all this, and, you know, it is what it is. They end up taking it out, but I have to go check it out myself at you know, a later point in the video here. So anyways, back to Demo Man improvement. I'll talk about a few other improvements in some other classes here. So one, we talked about the reloading thing, really huge. I really wait for my stuff to reload all the way. If I'm not dying, you know, like if I'm being shot at, you know, and I'm taking 1 or 2 shots here, I wait all the way before my reload is complete, before I start again. So secondly, what I do is I set up a lot of traps and I play it a lot more defensively. Obviously we're playing defense here, but most of the time I would be going in on people and just spamming the stickies, just left click, right click, left click, right click. But now I see myself doing a lot more setup, which is really nice, and I'm really enjoying that, and it makes it so satisfying when someone turns the corner and boom, you blow it up, and you have these stickies hidden, you know, either on the sides of the building or on the roof or something, because nobody looks up. That's just, you know, pro tip on there. So that's some demo man improvement here. Obviously I have a lot to learn before I make it into, you know, a different category of a demo man player, but for pubs, for all intents purposes, it's pretty good. So we'll talk about the next one here. I'd say my heavy gameplay has improved a lot. You know, I see myself revving up at the right times, jumping corners, basically shooting at the right targets. My aim is a little bit better with it, and it's a spammy class as well. Same thing with the soldier. I see myself doing a lot more rocket jumping and getting myself to the point or getting myself to the area faster, which is a huge thing for a soldier because it's such a slow class. And there's no real reason I can see why I've gotten better at the soldier class in that regard, in regards to the speed thing, because there's nothing really that I've trained myself to do. I've always been anti-rocket jump, always, you know, very anti-rocket jump, because, I don't know, I just see it as like, yeah, you're getting there faster, but you're sacrificing a lot of your health to get there. And it's very much like a suicide kind of mission, I see it. Scout and Spy, I'm not going to really talk about it just because I'm still learning those classes. Obviously, the Scout is a huge work in progress for me that I really need to get down. The Engineer and the Sniper, I'll talk about that I've improved in knowing a lot more locations for sightlines, and two, where to put sentries, where to put teleporters, dispensers. You know, I had some lakeside gameplay the other day with the mini sentry that went really well, and I was really happy with that, but it was because I knew where to put the dispenser that would help the team, and one I could get metal and heal myself and all that here. So yeah, that's some basic improvements there. Gameplay's coming to a close here. I'm kind of retreating at this area here just because I know they're all going to make the final push, and hopefully I'm able to hold off here just a bit. So yeah, the gameplay is coming to a close here. Let me know how you've improved and what's made you improve. What have you noticed about yourself? Are you reloading more, reloading less? Are you, rocket jumping when you shouldn't be rocket jumping? Are you rocket jumping when you should have been rocket jumping? Let me know what you think. Gameplay is coming to a close here, and I've said that a million times. But thank you all for watching so much. Appreciate it.